Kettle Point, Lake Huron.
Kettle Point is right here. More north, we have Grand Bend. And then we go even more north, we have Bayfield. And we go even more north, and we're going to try and find Kincardine, which is up here. Zooming back out, we can see that Kettle Point is way down at the south end of the lake, and it actually faces like northeast. And there's Center Road where we launch. There's the compass north and south with the point jetting out, and it actually faces northeast. We go north. You can see a north or northwest wind will be cross up here. And the shoreline between Kincardine and Grand Bend, it drops off a lot quicker between these two areas. And not until you get towards Grand Bend does the sand start to accumulate more and you get less of a drop off. You can see the fetch for Lake Huron all the way down here. I think it's the longest there is of all the Great Lakes. A total, I measured it, 314 kilometers. A 314 kilometer stretch before the waves make it all the way down the lake and then come right into this point. The winds are the strongest and the best direction at a north to northwest. The black line shows a northwest wind, and as you can see, it'll be coming from our left when we are standing at the beach there. It's all sand as far out as we can walk, but you can see the areas where there is shallow shale type rock. This is my track line from August 19th, and I'm out farther than most guys are. I am searching for the bigger swells, which are further out. The further out you go, the bigger the swells are, but if you stay in closer, there's more waves and they're slower. You can see this from the map here. They're showing a windy day here. Kettle Point, Lake Huron, August 19th, 2024, and it is kicking. The waves are huge. 1220. It's big. Overhead on the way out there. Walking out, it's all sand and it goes out very gradually, and this helps break down the big waves. So you keep walking out until you get deep enough to flip the foil down. I've had a couple of people ask how to get out through the waves with a foil, and the answer is you go straight at them and you knife right through them so there's no turbulence. If the waves are too tall that you're going to breach on the opposite side, then you have to hit them at an angle. When they get too big to knife straight through, I will try and outrun them by going around them. As you get further offshore, the waves become swells, non-breaking waves, and they are bigger and they are overhead. And you can see that because you can't see the other side, and I am standing on 12 to 18 inch foil. You can see how the swells have cleaned up the chop in the water so it's glass flat in between the swells. The distance between the waves and the size of the waves, we don't get this on Lake Erie. The size of the waves will get bigger here on Lake Huron at Kettle Point than Lake Erie because it's a longer fetch and it's a deeper lake. This is one of the larger swells I've caught further offshore. The swells offshore are bigger and they move a lot faster than the closer in break. You can see how large and predictable the swells are. You can ride them for a long time and they just keep going and going and going. And I'm basically turning back out before I get too close to shore. You get too close to shore, you get stuck in the cove and it's hard to get out. And there's rocks down in this corner. The nice thing about Kettle Point is you have a choice of wave sizes. So if you go further offshore, you're going to catch some of these bigger swells, bigger waves. And if you go in closer to shore, they have been broken down and they're smaller and more manageable. It's like this because over time the sand has built up at Kettle Point area and the bottom contour goes out very gradually. And as it goes out very gradually, that means we have the choice of small waves in close and they gradually build going out. There's not a quick drop off like there is along the eastern shores. Again, this is further offshore and you can see how big the swells are and how fast you have to go, but also how clean it is in between the swells. The downside of going down these faster moving swells is the fact that you're gonna take more risk. After this day, I had one cut toe. I had the board hit me in the helmet. Thank you, helmet. I had my eyelids peeled back several times. I had a leash rope burn on my leg and got whiplash probably 15 times, and I ripped one of my wings. Overall, a fantastic day. Almost as good as Maui, and only a couple hours from home. You can see the bottom here where it's more shallow, and I've outlined that with orange marker. It's overhead deep in this area. I found there's like a sandbar further offshore right about here. You can see from the green circle where we park on the left, and then out to the right is where I spent most of my time. This is where the biggest and most consistent waves are breaking, as you can see from my track log. Ending with one final clip down the line with music from Stick Figure.